at the Backyard Builder here. Well, I've decided I'm going to try and make myself an Easter Island head. I went and I did some searching around the internet, and I found this little fellow that I'm going to try and somewhat sort of duplicate. Basically, what I found in looking around the internet is that there really is no consistency with the different models. Basically, anything goes as long as you can get the basic shape right, and so that's all I'm after here. I've got one here printed off, so I've got an idea of the proportions and stuff, and basically after that we're just going to do our own thing. So what I did, I managed to find one here. I was able to get front and side views. So what I've done here, I have taken the printout and I've divided it into grid. Now that grid is 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, and that is basically going to, I'm just going to double that and do a 1 inch grid on my styrofoam material for carving. Now, for carving, I've got this big block of styrofoam. Now, you can get these blocks of styrofoam probably at your local home improvement store. And what they are, they're called a void form, okay? And they go under grade beams for insulation. And so this one here is actually twice as thick as the normal void form. Normally they're about 4 by 8 inches. This one here is actually just about 8 by 8 inches. So and they come in 8-foot lengths. I've cut this one down to 18 inches. And we're just going to try and come up with something that's sort of semi-close to the picture here. We don't want to copy it exactly because we want our own thing. But we're just going to kind of use the picture to give us an idea of the proportions and stuff. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, because I'm doubling my scale, I'm going from basically from 1/2 inch squares to 1 inch squares. We're just going to mark off our styrofoam here and just transfer our grid approximately onto the model here. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect for this step here. This has to be sort of semi-accurate. I've got a 1 inch ruler here, so that, well, 1 inch wide ruler, and we're sort of getting these things relatively close. Not exactly rocket science here. Don't really need perfection. So. But once we get our grid system on here, then we go to our photograph and we draw approximately what we see on the grid on our photograph. We mark that off onto the grid that we have here. And that will give us a working see, I can even do it this way here. That'll give us close enough to a working map to cut everything out. Now I'm just going to do the front view. I was fortunate enough to actually find a front view and a side view of the particular model. So I could, in theory, do two sides and come out actually rather close to the original. But like I said, I do want to actually do my own thing here, because this is going to be used for commercial purposes. That's one thing about when you're actually doing stuff for commercial purposes. You really need to be careful about copying other people's stuff, because you run into a lot of copyright issues. So you do want to be somewhat careful with that. You don't want to be stealing other people's designs. You want to use them for inspiration, but you don't actually want to copy it literally. So basically what we've got here, I've got eight squares wide, and I've got 8 squares wide on my block here. So I'm going to basically go through here and pretty much copy what we've got here for the outline. See, what have we got here? I know that he's got really wide ears on him, so that comes out to this line here almost. He's not quite so wide at the bottom here, so we're going to start actually in at the first line here, because his ears are going to stick out to the edge here. We're not going to be hardly cutting them off at all, but we're going to start in at the first line, and we go up basically 2 squares here. And you can do this in a different color pen. It actually makes it a little easier. Now we're going to go through there, and we can see the next line goes through from about 1/3 to about 1/2 and 1/2, and then it kind of curves in to meet the point here. Then it comes out again and goes up about there, and then it comes back a little more, and then it goes right out to the ear, all the way out to the edge. Then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we come in again, and we can start here. We go in sharply, and we go up, actually over that line, and then we go up, and we just curving toward the center there. Okay, that gives us our basic outline now for that side. We'll repeat the process for the other side here, and basically it's going to mirror this side here, and then we can cut that, and we can go to this side here, and all we have to do is cut that with our bow cutter, and it gives us a pretty close starting point from where we can start adding the details here. So basically, we're just going to mirror what we did on this side. We're going to mirror that down, and that's going to give us our basic shape for this fella here. Now I'm going to do my own thing here, because what I'm going to do, instead of having his ears stick out like that big, I'm going to actually cut them off here just a little bit, and just start adding elements of my own design here, so I can kind of make it my own thing. There we go. So now, like I said, I've got a side view, so I'm just going to flip that over now, and we're going to do the side view. Anyways, we just flip it on its side here, and we'll make some more marks again every inch. Oops. And once again, we just transfer our lines. Just, like I say, they don't need to be particularly accurate. Not for what we're doing anyway, so. There are times when you want stuff like this to be a little more accurate than maybe what we're doing, but I think we're just trying to capture the basic flavors, so I think we can do that without necessarily being overly detailed. Now, I took a little break here when I was grabbing my other photograph, and I actually went on the computer for a bit. Now, if you've got a picture manipulation program, what might make your life a little easier is if you can get the computer to actually print these lines out for you, and because otherwise you're off doing it yourself. So, anyways, I know that from side to side of my photograph is 7 inches, which is how wide my block is. My block is actually 7 by 8 inches. So, once again, we're just gonna take our photograph here, and we're gonna kind of do approximately what things are doing here. Now we've got kind of 1, 2, 3. We've got kind of a little bit of a thing here to the base. We kind of dip in, but we don't ever go more than 1/3 of the way. And we're going up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Roughly seven or 8 blocks here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. About here. And then we just carry on here now. 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks to reach the outside. 1, 2, 3, 4. So by the outside we should be back here. Now, a couple of things here to note about the photographs here. Okay, inevitably a round object is going to show up to be a curved line on the bottom of a flat photograph. So just remember the bottom is flat. The same thing with the top as well. Because this is actually a round head, and you're seeing a bit of the top of it. So basically what the guy has done here is he's made the head flat, and we can do the same, or we can arch our head a bit. Now we're gonna come into 2.5 to that point, so we can just arch our head a bit like that, and that'll give ours a little different feel. We're going to come down here, let's see here now, 1/3 to 2/3, and staying inside there, and then we're coming back to this line. Then we come out to the bridge of the nose, which is from that point is 1, 2, 3, 4. So including this in this 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's where the bridge of the nose is going to be, and we're going to come back 1.5 lengths in approximately. Then we come out to the lips, and the lips kind of do a thing like this, and we jut in under the lips and out over that. There we go, and we just kind of continue following following that line, we're going to come into about the 1/3 mark here approximately, and then we're going to scooch our way out to the bottom here, just like so. Okay, so now next step is going to be to take the bow cutter to this, and what we're going to do, we're simply going to cut this line all the way through it. We're going to cut it flush all the way from side to side. And now, when you cut it with a bow cutter, keep the piece in place. And I'll show you why next year. Now you're going to want to try and keep your bow cutter as level as you can, but when you cut this, you want to keep the piece in place. And then we'll do the reveal at the end. It just makes life easier to try and cut this thing to keep the pieces all together. And I'll show you what happens here. Okay, so I've got the bow cutter set up now, and basically what we want to do here, we want to cut through and follow our line here, and pretty much just cut this out. We had a little end cap pop off, so we'll just take the other one off so it doesn't go too far on us here. So, anyways, it's just want to try and keep it kind of square to the back here, but it's not 100% necessary. You're going to have some variation here in the use, so we just there we go. Just go through like so, and there we go. Follow through like that. So, okay, so we'll just flip that off for a second and just turn it over. Now you can pull these apart at this time, but you actually do want to keep the pieces in just so that everything stays square, because if you're trying to balance it on this little part here, it can be a little tricky. So of course, when you flip it upside down, your marks are on the other side here. So anyways, we'll just go like so. Go like that. And the last piece here on this side. Okay. Now, let's just have to concentrate on what we're doing here. It goes fairly quickly when you got a good powered heat unit. So there we go. Now I've got all four sides cut on the one direction. Now this is why you want to keep this all together now. Partly because your marks are on the one side. But once we get this all cut off here, then we can Once this is all cut off, well then we can start doing things like taking these apart. There we go, into his lips, back under the nose. Voila! Okay. We'll turn him around the other direction here. There we go. There we go. That falls off. Now, at this point here, I can probably start tossing a few pieces. I'll show you here. We want to keep that together for now. Whoop. There we go. Pieces together. Okay, so now I've got the one last line to follow here. Bridge the nose, there we go. Voila. And I'm going to do a quick 180 here and get this last. Once you get all these pieces here, it can get a little tricky to actually keep it together. But this is going to be real neat here in just a moment here when we're line up all our pieces here for the final cut, and then we can do, once we've got it cut here, then we can do a reveal. Okay, so let's get the bow cutter here, and there we go. Voila. Okay, now we've got that last piece cut there. Now we can just take everything off, and with that, the basic shape of our man is revealed here. So now we just have to go through and cut in all the details. It's not so apparent from the front, but if you turn them to the side, you can kind of see where this is going here. You got the curve in the back here now, and you got the basic profile with the long nose and the lips and everything. So now we're going to go to a little smaller tool and start working on this again here. So anyways, with that part of the job done, now comes the most challenging part of the exercise, and that is to make this block of styrofoam look sort of semi like our examples that we're after. And so anyways, we can do this rather simply once again by using our grid system on the photographs here. And okay, so at the bottom here we're 2 inches in at the bottom. I know that now. This is where it's handy to actually keep your pieces of styrofoam handy that you cut off. I'll show you why. Okay, we've got our pieces of styrofoam here, and basically what I need to do on the ear here, I need the back, the ear's about 1 inch thick, and it starts 2 inches from the back. Now it starts at the bottom of this ridge here, which starts in 2 inches from the back now, and it's about 1 inch thick. Now if I didn't have this piece of styrofoam to put back into place, I'd kind of be guessing as to where to place the ear. But because I've got that chunk of styrofoam I can put back in, and I know at the top, this is the top ridge of the ear, it's about 1.5 inches in, inch and 3/8, and again it's still about 1 inch thick, so we'll just go an extra inch over there. And now we know that this here, between these two lines, is approximately where the ear goes. So, and just keeping these pieces of styrofoam handy just makes that job a whole lot easier. So now we know that we're going to go to the depth here, and we're going to go close to the same depth over on the other side. So once again, we'll just use the bow cutter for this one here, and we're just simply going to cut him down. Now you're going to want to be careful here so you don't cut into your other faces too much, because you're going to be doing some repair anyways here with other materials. But just cut that out, and we can repeat this on the other side now. Okay, just this time just reversing our measurements here. So once again, 2 inches and we're going to make the ear 1 inch thick, and we want to go 1 inch and 3/8 here to 2 and 3/8 approximately. And again, we're just going to go do that by hand, and we'll set that aside for now, just in case we need it later. We'll get our bow cutter out again, and away we go. And you can see this is the face of the guy starting to come together now. He's got his big ears. What I kind of liked about that particular fella. Now, I'm going to switch to a different tool here. We're going to start getting some of the other detail in here now. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to, well, let's look at, okay, we want the nose to be dead center, and it's 1.5 inches on each side here. So, okay, so what I've got left, I've cut it down to 5 1/4 roughly. So to put that dead center is going to put us roughly at just over 2.5 is going to a hint over 2.5 is going to put us dead center, and then the nose is really wide on this fellow. So we're going to go. Oh, what are we going to do here now? Looks like about a 3-inch wide nose, so about 1.5 inches on each side. Really big schnozzes on these guys. And then again, we can start to do this by visualization now. Just bring that down and there we go. Okay, and the eyes are just in below the brow here. Now the eyes are rather deep set, so but they're going to be right in here now, and they got about a 1/2 inch for the bridge on each side. So we'll mark that off so we don't forget about it. And then the eyes are almost like 2-foot balls here, so we're just going to draw a couple footballs in here. Okay, that's kind of going to be our eyes, and basically they just sink back. Now, part of it is going to be contouring around the head here. He's squared off. You can see the side of the face in the photograph. You can see the side of the face here in the photograph. She's kind of squared off. So we're going to do the same here, but we need to round that over. So. The next big detail, okay, we basically got our lips. We're going to need to cut them in a little more. Need to cut our nostrils in a bit here, and open them up a bit. This here is going to be contouring off to the side here. Same here, this is going to be contouring off to the side. We'll be taking that off. In here and in here, just kind of shaping the face, but still leaving it square. So anyways, just readjust the camera so you can see a little bit of what I'm doing here. Basically, we're going to just round off these edges here. You can see where we've got the nose and the bridge line marked off. The eyes are basically deep in sockets, and the lips, we've got them kind of contoured into the stone already. Now they're about 1 inch or so wider than the nose is, so we're just going to do that visually. Okay, we're going to give probably another 1/2 inch on each side, just to mark the lips off. And then they're going to be contoured around the edge of the block as well. And we're just going to continue on down the model here, and we can see by looking at the different photographs. Okay. Here, the neck comes around the shoulder here. You've got this part of the shoulder is showing right here. So we need to cut the neck around and then come up, just form a bump over where that shoulder is, and the same thing on the other side. It'll take a little while to fiddle around with things, but just start cutting, and it'll eventually all come together. So anyways, let's get to work. I wanna just take a little bit off at a time now, and you're just kind of forming everything here as you go along now. This is the pleasurable part of the job, is just the creative input that goes into making it your own. It is actually cut in kind of deep around the nose, so I'm going to have to figure out a way I'm going to do that, but I do know I need to round this off but still have it kind of squarish. So and just take that off. And we'll check back in a while when we have this a little more done. That's basically what it's starting to look like there now. I've got to have this area here has to be dug out, the eyes have to be sunk, but we're just kind of getting the basic shape onto the face now. So anyways, I've just been cutting here for the last hour or two, and been using this little tool right here. Basically, it's a little hot wire that there's a couple things I can do. I can do like that, and I can pull it tight, or I can actually push these together and make that into a bit of a loop for cutting. And basically what I've been doing here, I've just been going in and cutting out the basic shape here, and you can see how he's all coming together now. And so anyways, I'm just going to do a little bit more of the finishing touches here, round the base off a bit more, and the next step after this is to just sand this all down. And then once I've got it sanded down, I'm going to use a different kind of plaster. It's not actually a plaster, it's actually a finishing stucco. It's used for expanded insulation foam stucco, and it's going to give it a rough, rocky texture, and plus we can do a little bit of modeling and shaping with it when we're done. So, anyways, that's about all for this week here, and we'll check in with you next week here and carry on with this project. Have a good day.